So let's start here, and it's the horrible reality that hundreds of thousands of people who rely on a social grant to stay alive have still not been paid, and we're talking almost 2 weeks into the month. It seems the problem emanates from a payment system switch with Postbank. Now, Postbank is a subsidiary of the Post Office, and it's one of the many banks that is involved in paying grant recipients. Those people, many of them, left high and dry. So we have got a number of reporters on the story. Heidi Giokos has been around Johannesburg today. Ayesha Ismail in Cape Town, also speaking to people on the ground waiting for their money. And Hloni Mtimkulu, who attended the briefing today by the involved government ministers to find out what on earth is going on. So I'm going to start with you, Heidi Giokos. You were around Johannesburg today. We have been told that this is a problem for the pensioners. We know the way SASSA works is certain people are paid on one day, then another group another day, and so on, so on. The people you've been speaking to, Heidi, are they only pensioners who've not received their grants?
No, Sally, we do understand that it also includes the child grants as well as the disability grants. A number of people that we spoke to did indicate that it's not just the pension grants that has been affected, but it's also a number of other grants. And you can only imagine the panic and the frustration that this has caused for thousands, if not millions of households. We were told that it's about 600,000 people that have been affected by the failure on government's part to really pay grant recipients. We were on the ground today. We were in Soweto, and then we were also in Lenasia, where people are so desperate, Sally, that they have now opted to go to loan sharks. And you can only imagine the interest on the loans that they are taking out, but they have no other alternative. People are desperate for food. People are desperate for their grant money, which they are entitled to, which is clearly a violation of their human rights, basic human rights. You are targeting the most vulnerable, the most in need in our society, especially the elderly, those that are desperate for, or rather on child grants, disability grants, and they've had to now wait almost 2 weeks into the month, and they still do not have their grant money. What's even more alarming is that the various government departments involved have indicated that the issue has been sorted out. But that is definitely not the reality on the ground. People are saying that they have been sent from pillar to post. They are told to go to one post office. They get there. When they get there, they're told to go to another post office. People are walking kilometers on end just to get to the post office because they don't have their grant money to pay for transport to get to these post offices. So this is the tragedy and the real reality on the ground, not the reality that both ministers today in the briefing have indicated their apology and expressed their concern, and they've indicated that this is sorted out. It has not been sorted out because you still have people who are dependent on these grants that have not received their grants for the month. Let's listen to what some had to say to us today.
I was supposed to get my children's grant on the 7th of this month. I never received it, and I'm unhappy for it. Because, like as in, my children go every morning to school with an empty stomach. I'm standing with receipts until now. I never received my children's money. I'm sitting with my sister at home. She's disabled. Like now she's hungry. I'm running every day up and down to get my children's money. I borrowed money from people to go and look where can I get my children's money. When I'm going to pay these people back, I don't know, because I need my children's money. There's nothing in my house to eat because I don't receive my children's money.
Yes, yesterday I was here. From last week, Tuesday, we were struggling to get the money. So yesterday I was also here. They said I must go and get the statement from the SASSA offices. Yeah. I went there yesterday. They gave me the statement. SASSA paid them the money. So now I'm from inside because I was here 8 o'clock this morning. Now I'm from inside. They said the money is not in my account. So now I don't know what happened. You know, we're appealing to the government, of all the stakeholders who are dealing with this, to help us, the people. The old people are coming here, are sitting here, they've got no food, they've got nothing. It's a shame. I think it's a shame for our government to do this to elder people. I'm old, I'm 66 years old, but from last week I didn't get the money. Today they said I must come on Monday. If Monday I don't get the money, then what will happen?
I can't do nothing. You have to buy food. Where must I get food from if I don't have money? You must go borrow. And people want their money. It's very difficult for us as pensioners. And I really think SASSA don't care about their old people. We worked all the years for them. And now, they failed us.
Those are very heartbreaking sentiments, Heidi, coming from some of the people you've spoken to in and around Johannesburg. Ayesha, of course, you're in Cape Town. You've been speaking to people waiting in queues in Malmesbury. Similar sentiments?
While those in power, politicians, officials, bicker about who exactly is responsible for the delay in paying these social grants to the recipients and beneficiaries, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are going hungry. And the people that I was speaking to today were saying that they are now poorer because they've been coming to Postbank, going to ATMs, going to ShopRite checkers to go and see if they were able to get money since last week already. It's been a week and a half, and every time they have to borrow money to pay for transport to take them to these places to go and get their money, and only to return empty-handed. So much so, just as Heidi Giokos just articulated about people having to go to loan sharks to borrow money to see them through the month. And they tell me that if they don't pay the loan sharks on time with interest, they charge heavy penalties. But this is what one of the residents in an area called Chatsworth, just outside Malmesbury, had to say to me earlier today.
I've been looking every time on my phone and no message, no nothing came through. And for me, ma'am, it's very frustrated because I need this money, because I can't go to money lenders and borrow money every time. By the time I get this money, then there's no money left. Then I sit in the debt again and again. So for me, yes, SASSA must think what they are doing to our people, and mostly the elderly people, because they are suffering the most. Because some of my friends and my neighbors around in my area in Chatwood, they get 600 rand. 60 rand, some did get 300 rand, some of them say to me they only get 1,200 rand. So this is a situation. But when I go there, they say to me the money is reversed. When I come to the post office, the money is reversed. I want to know where did the money reverse to.
Yeah, and every single person waiting for their grant has got a desperate situation on their hands. Ayesha, Ismail, that's the story from Cape Town. Hloni, Mtimkulu, I'm going to bring you in. Of course, you were at that briefing attended by the Social Development Minister, the Communications and Digital Technology Minister, Mondli Ngubela, and also representatives from Postbank. Did you get a sense from that briefing that there's a real appreciation of the gravity of this crisis?
Not at all, Sally. They apologized, and all four officials that were there, the two ministers and the two CEOs from SASSA and Postbank, they did apologize for what happened, and all of them kind of were reading from the same hymn sheet in terms of that. But in terms of really feeling like they understand the implications of what this means for ordinary South Africans, there is no sense or there's no feeling that they did understand that. The Postbank CEO, Nikki Mbengashe, insists that sure, the systems were working optimally by Wednesday or so, or Thursday last week, and so if systems were working optimally on their end, things were fine. We asked her, as we did last week, what does it mean when you say your systems are working optimally, and yet hundreds of thousands of people still do not have their money? So your systems are working, but people have not received their grant money. What are you saying? You know, and she just insisted, well, I was asked this question and I answered what I was asked, not understanding that whether your systems, you say your systems are working or not, whether this glitch has been resolved or not, what it actually means for people on the ground. We spoke to when the minister, Mondli Ngubela, was also speaking as well, and you know, it was just very casual, almost in a sense, just a sort of, well, this has happened, but you know, we're moving on. The CEO of Postbank was saying she can't guarantee that this won't happen again. You know, so it's just been it was a very interesting, or very trite, I would say, briefing, where I just in the sense that they understood that for so many people, there's just so many implications for what has happened.
That briefing.
I know some people might have leaked some board members might have leaked their responses. What actually happened, is it the day before yesterday? Yes. Yes. It is a culmination of an attempt by the minister to intervene in dealing with governance challenges that are in the bank, which the board had to answer for. For whatever reason, board members, knowing the decision that was possibly going to be taken in the AGM today, they opted to preempt that, in my view, and leave. Just to say one or two examples. One of the fundamental problems has been the continuation of an illegal contract, which was paid no less than 140 million, and without a justifiable explanation why it was allowed to continue. As a matter of record, which I know is transparent, is public, you know, Postbank has had, a disclaimer for no less than 2 years. No serious-minded nation can allow a financial institution to tolerate that. Normally, financial institutions are held in the highest regard.
All right, so Hloni Mtimkulu, thank you so much. We're going to leave it there. The Minister of Communication and Digital Technology just responding to the news this morning that the entire board of Postbank has resigned. He's suggesting perhaps that they were pushed. So thank you so much, Hloni Mtimkulu, Heidi Giokos, and of course also Ayesha Ismail in Cape Town. Let's continue.